Steal a car, do some mushrooms, abandon the car on the highway with a loaded gun. Why'd you have a ski mask in the car?
Just keep a ski mask. I always wear a ski mask. Just like,
What? It was April. You wear a ski mask for what?
To cover my face.
What? I don't get it. You regularly walk around wearing a ski mask?
Yes.
Mr. Roldan, come on. Did you know you were coming here today for a parole hearing?
Nah, like this caught me off guard. Like I forgot it was gonna be today.
Oh, so you were informed and you forgot when it was? I mean, this is a pretty big event. You didn't know you were coming to parole today? When did you think it was?
I don't know. They just told me to visit it. I'm thinking my family came down here to come see me or something.
When did you meet with the parole officer?
Like in the beginning of the month.
The beginning of last month. So a month ago, and you weren't counting down the days to your possible parole release hearing?
There's something in the water in Connecticut. I feel like I just saw an audition for Bill and Ted's Great Adventure 3, not an opening statement at a parole hearing. This is going to be interesting. I'll unpack it at the end.
He is serving a sentence of 7 years jail, prosecuted suspended after 3 years with 3 years probation. For larceny second, criminal possession of a firearm, the violation of probation with underlying offense of easy possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle, and possession with intent to sell. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of October 18, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shown the offender has completed the following programs. Mr. Roldan has been participating in the GED program. He has not completed any programs in his OAP and has been on the wait list for 5 to 7 day job assignment, voice educational needs to be assessed, good intention, bad choices, and general referral for ASU since November 28th of 2023. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score fall within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe in parole. You may begin.
Go ahead, sir. Why do you think you deserve parole?
Well, the reason why I think I should give me parole is I had time to sit here and think about my actions and learn from my mistakes. Yeah, just learn from my mistakes. Like, it's not what I want to do no more. Like, I don't want to be in here no more. Like, I really sat here and seen like people keep coming in and out, kept coming in and out. Like, I got a family out there. I got a son. I got a good support system out there. So like, being in here, like it bothered me a lot seeing my mom hurt. Like my mom was really disappointed at me when I came back.
Did you know you were coming here today for a parole hearing?
Nah, like this caught me off guard. Like I forgot it was gonna be today.
Oh, so you were informed and you forgot when it was? I mean, this is a pretty big event. You didn't know you were coming to parole today? When did you think it was?
I don't know. They just told me to visit it. I'm thinking my family came down here to come see me or something.
When did you meet with the parole officer?
Like in the beginning of the month.
The beginning of last month. So a month ago, and you weren't counting down the days to your possible parole release hearing?
Nah.
Wow. All right. Mr. Roldan, we have questions for you, sir, okay? We will deliberate after our questions and give you our decision. And we're going to begin with my colleague, Mr. Dargan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
So, you're young, but you're already involved. You were on probation for a legal gun at the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was going on with you in possession of a legal weapon?
Like me personally, like I kept it on me because like for protection, like I live in the city of Hartford, it's dangerous out there. So like I kept it for my safety and my protection.
So I read that you started GED programming.
Yes, yes. And I just got into to voices and smart recovery.
And has that been of any help to try to give you some insight of maybe
Yes.
what's going on?
That's why I ain't get into like my programs like that, because I was really working on my GED. Because like everybody keep telling me it's gonna be hard to get a job out there without a GED. So like that's why I've been working on to get it. That's why I just been sticking to school right now.
Okay. So you do have some supervision to follow as far as with probation. So how do we break the cycle at a young age? Because you're going down the wrong path here.
Like me, I just had a son while I was in here, so like that made me look at everything different. Like I just want to come home and just work. I just got to relocate myself from the area I'm at.
So you think that additional programming that might be available to you would be of help to you?
Yeah, if possible, yes.
Because as my colleague stated, usually we get an opening statement from someone that's incarcerated, talking about what happened, what their plan is when they're released, what they would like to do as far as for employment goes. But you seem to not be organized this morning. Would that be
You
a
didn't know it was coming here.
yeah, would that be a fair
And
assessment?
like it's my first time on parole, so like I don't like I'm not familiar with all this.
Okay. All right. Well, where else do you think that you might need help when you are released?
Release, like real hope, like staying out, like stay away from everybody. Like I want to be able to like just want to move from the area. Like I really want to leave Hartford.
Yeah, it's hard to stay away from everyone, right? Because
Yes.
I think sometimes it's better making better choices
Yes.
to be a more accurate assessment than locking yourself in a room and staying away from everyone, right?
Yes.
That's why I mean, I can't speak for my other colleagues, but I think that you need additional programming that would be of help to you before you are released. So thank you for having a conversation.
Thank you, Mr. Duggar. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, Mr. Rodan, you have very serious charges for such a young man. And not once, but twice, right? You have a
Yes.
previous charge of a weapon. And now you
Yes.
got a second charge of a weapon. You're and you're young. I mean, and what's going on out in the streets today?
It just be a lot.
Young people are killing young people.
Yes.
Weapon. So we take it very seriously. So, and you didn't come really very prepared, right?
Yeah.
And we have to make a decision whether it makes sense to grant you the opportunity for discretionary parole today. And without us feeling comfortable with that, that's hard to do.
Yes.
One of the programming that I thought you should take, since you're a new father, right? It's probably something related to fatherhood or parenting.
Yeah.
Really help you out, right? So you're a young father as well. I mean, I want to be honest with you. I'm having a lot of challenges with this today with you. So, you also claimed that you did have an issue with substance abuse, but you tested positive for fentanyl before you went in. How do you explain that? That's a pretty significant.
Like I just had a bad habit when I was home.
So you had a habit with fentanyl. You had a drug habit.
Yeah.
That's not what I think we read about you. In fact, so that's kind of important for us. So that means that for us, it makes sense that you take something related to your substance abuse issue, right?
Yes.
So I would agree with my colleague that I think you probably still need some significant programming to go on. I mean, you seem to be moving in that direction because you're taking, what'd you say, smart
Recovery.
Smart recovery.
and voices, and that's kind of moving in a good direction.
Yes.
So you should probably keep doing that. Okay, I don't have any additional questions. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. All right, Mr. Roldan, a few questions for you. You were in a stolen car. Why did you abandon it on the highway?
I was on mushrooms that day, and then I already knew I was on parole, and when I seen the cop coming, that's why I just took off running off panicking.
Okay, so the cops were already behind you. Okay,
No,
so you took off.
they was in front of me. They was in front of me.
Oh, they were in front of you. So you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you saw an officer on the side of the road, or were they trying to flag you down?
No, they was trying to flag me. They had blocked the highway off, and then when I was coming down the highway, two officers start walking to the car, and I just panicked and ran.
Why did you steal the car?
I don't know, just doing mad, childish stuff.
Oh, okay. That was like your idea of fun back then?
Yeah.
Steal a car, do some mushrooms, abandon the car on the highway with a loaded gun. Why'd you have a ski mask in the car?
Just keep a ski mask. I don't know, I always wear a ski mask. Just like,
What? It was April. You wear a ski mask for what?
to cover my face.
What? I don't get it. You regularly walk around wearing a ski mask.
Yes.
Mr. Roldan, come on. You told the officer you smoked marijuana. That was the only thing you used. So now you're telling us you use fentanyl, you use mushrooms. You need to take an addiction services program, a tier program. I'm glad you're in Voices. That's going to help you because everything you do affects everybody, right?
Yes.
Even that incident where you abandoned the car and ran from the police. The police are using their valuable time when they could be working on something else, right? You're in a stolen car, so that makes everybody's insurance rates go up because somebody has to report their car stolen and file an insurance claim. Your actions affect everybody, and you need to learn that from the Voices program. You're telling us you needed a gun for protection because you were living in Hartford, and Hartford is dangerous, yet you want to go back to Hartford and live with your sister. So should we expect you to go out and get another gun?
That's the only place I got to go.
You're going to go get another gun because it's too dangerous there?
Nah. My sister should be moving anyways from there to Manchester.
And to be honest with you, that's not the answer because there's trouble in Manchester. There's trouble in everywhere. You can find trouble wherever you go if you wanted to. And where did you steal the car from?
Middletown.
Right. So you brought trouble to Middletown too. So, I mean, you really have to look inwards towards yourself. The change has to come from you, and then everything around you changes. But I'm glad you're in school. How far have you gotten in the GED program?
The GED, I got 2 more tests to go. I got social study and mathematics.
Okay.
And if I pass them 2 tests, I get my GED.
Awesome. When are those tests?
I should got one coming up, and I think she had said like June's 1st or something like that.
Perfect. That's next month. Put it in your calendar so you don't miss the day.
Yeah.
I hope you get that because it really will help you. And you had a job at Trader Joe's. It's a great company. What happened to that?
Like, it was just too far. I didn't have a car to keep going back and forth.
Okay.
And like,
Well,
one
since
of
you're
the
going to
days,
drive anyway, how about a driver's license? Is that one of your goals?
yeah, yes,
Have you ever tried to get a license or a permit?
nah,
No. You know what you should do, Mr. Roldan? You should go back today. You should make a list of goals for yourself. Have you done that at all while you're there?
yeah, but like, that was like when I was like towards the beginning of my bed. Now, like, if I do one now, it's gonna be a little different. Yeah.
You really should. You can do short-term goals, start small, get a job, go into programs, whatever, getting out of prison. And then long-term goals, what you want to do ultimately in your life. What would you, if you could pick any career for yourself, for your future, what would you like to do?
Entrepreneur.
Okay. Can you be more specific? Like what exactly? Go ahead.
Selling clothes, like name brand clothes, like that's what I was like. I was getting into that, like before I came in, I was about to go to City Hall and pay like I think it was like $300 for like the LLCs.
Yeah.
Like, a little license so you can sell your own clothes and brand and stuff like that.
Nice. Well, and that's certainly that's an achievable goal for you. So I hope you can make it there. But I think there's still work to be done. I'm going to chalk some of it up to immaturity because you are very young and your brain is still developing. You have to stay away from the drugs for your brain to really work at its full potential too. So,
Yes.
thank you for speaking with me. We're going to deliberate for a few minutes. You can listen in and we'll give you our decision. Mr. Durgan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I don't have them, who opted today.
Mhm.
Next question is, do we want to bring them back in a year? Got work to do, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
My reasons right now are around participation, evidence of offender change, and committed while on probation. Now, what other program? At least he's working towards his GED.
Yeah. And he's in a couple programs right now.
Yeah, okay, yeah, voices in flower coat.
Mr. Rodriguez, what are your thoughts?
I'm not ready to listen today, but I would read his case in a year, give him a chance to do some programming.
Okay. I would say 9 months, and I'll tell you why, because I think if he can get to a place where he'd be granted parole, he could benefit for a lengthier period of supervision while he's in the community, because that's where he's really going to need the help.
I'm good.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you got 3 years of probation. Right?
Yeah. All right, 9. Hey, I'm challenged by math there. Okay. February of 25. We'll ask him to continue with school programs and not receive any disciplinary reports. Okay. In the matter of Rafael R DOC, inmate number 438204, I'll make a motion to deny parole at this time, but we'll rehear the case in 9 months, February of 2025. Reasons for denial are inadequate program participation and evidence of offender change. And we'll ask that he participate in programs, continue with school, and hopefully have his GED, and receive no further disciplinary reports. Is there a second motion?
Second,
All in favor?
I
Aye. Mr. Roldan, we believe in you, so we're going to give you another shot at this, but we want you to take some programs, keep going to school, stay out of trouble. When you come back, bring a list of goals to share with us, okay? We want to hear about it.
remember the date of your next hearing when it comes up.
February. Thank
February.
you, sir. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Just one clarification on denial reasons.
I gave it to him. Inadequate programs and evidence of offender change.
That's what I had.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I need to see the ski mask thing again. I need to see this one more time.
Steal a car, do some mushrooms, abandon the car on the highway with a loaded gun. Why'd you have a ski mask in the car?
Just keep a ski mask. I always wear a ski mask. Just like,
What? It was April. You wear a ski mask for what?
to cover my face.
What? I don't get it. You regularly walk around wearing a ski mask.
Yes.
Mr. Roldan, come on. You told the officer you smoked marijuana.
I couldn't stop laughing when I first saw this. I like dropped. Oh man, thank you, Richard, for pointing this one out. This is it's so bizarre. I like the way the parole officer handled it. It was so the 3 on the board today. It was Zaccanini, Rodriguez, and Dargan. Who was that? Zaccanini that was talking. I can't get over how, man. This guy, he's kind of funny. I think I'd like him to be my bunkie. He seems like a kind of, funny guy. I'm pretty sure I'm sorry, you can't make it up, but okay, we'll go over. We don't have a lot of information on this case. Oh man. So he has a small, he's young. He's very young. I think he's born in like 22 or something. So 2002. So he has his first arrest in October of 2021. And it was illegal possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle. And I think that's the one he just spoke about with he's always walks around with the face mask. And possession of narcotics. He was sentenced to 4 years jail, executed, suspended after 1, probation 3 years, right? So basically, all right, they'll give him a 1 year sentence. It's a slap on the wrist for what they could have gotten him on, right? And he violated probation pretty much immediately after getting out. So again, he's sentenced on 5/31. He violates parole on November 9, 2023. His probation was revoked, sentenced to 30 months jail. Then I guess he gets out within like a year or so. He gets out pretty quickly, not on parole. He said this was his first parole hearing. He gets his next offense on 4/17/2023. And his sentencing date was November 27, 2023. Oh, so that's the same. Sorry. So this was his. I don't know. I get confused with these dates, man. Because it says violation of probation November 9th, but then arrested 4/17. So I don't know. But this was his larceny second-degree charge, and this is when they finally said, okay, enough's enough, and they sentenced him to 7 years jail, executed, suspended after 3 years probation, 3 years. So they are going to go send him to some programs, and of course, it's going to solve all the problems. But I don't know. I like the guy. I mean, it's scary to think. The bottom line is that you have a young guy running around with a gun and a face mask, and that's just going to result in nothing good. But it was just that he's really trying to tell a parole officer, like, yeah, I just walk around with a ski mask. I mean, think about that. There's like nothing going on up there. But I hope he can turn it around. I don't know. What can you say? You can't make it up. So anyways, we'll move to the next hearing, another wild one.
When's the last time your license was valid?
99.
Wow. So since 90 for 20 year win, for 25 years you've been driving illegally, and it shows in your record.
I have when they suspended it in 99, I had got arrested and I had did a few years in prison. So I wasn't home the whole time.
Okay, I'm sorry. For 22 years you've been driving without a license. Why? I don't understand. Like that seems like such a silly thing to keep coming back to prison for. Just take care of your license, or maybe don't drive if you don't have a valid license. So simple. It doesn't make sense to me. If your job's too far, you find a different job, right? It's better than being in prison, no?
Yes.
It is very rare to see someone serving prison time for driving without a license, given a 5-year sentence. Now, I don't blame the judge. He had gotten ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket until the judge finally said enough is enough. We're going to watch this parole hearing and we'll unpack it with some of those details at the end.
For violation of probation with underlying or marketing fifth, 1 count of failure to appear 2, and illegal operation of a motor vehicle under suspension. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of January 16, 2024. There is significant input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender, has been reviewed and shown the offender has completed the following focus. Mr. Gonzalez has completed the Good Intentions Bad Choices program and has maintained the job as a janitor. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted.
I have done a lot of programs. Well, I've done the programs since I've been here, and I made an appointment for when I get out for this. I guess she's like a therapist at Willet Clinic to evaluate me to see if maybe she recommends if I need any more programs. They have faxed over the confirmation. I don't know if the parole board got it yet.
When is that appointment?
It's at a Willet Clinic for, I think, the beginning of June. I picked that date because I wasn't sure what date I was getting out.
You made an appointment before even knowing if you were going to be granted parole?
No, it was, they said I can reschedule it if I didn't make parole.
Okay, yeah, we
I
didn't get
just-
anything, but okay, all right.
I just wanted to make just in case, so I can, have a plan for when I get out. I didn't want to wait till the last minute. And, I have run this early because I tried to do other programs while I was here. And they was sending me requests back saying that because my T-scores wasn't high enough, I wasn't qualifying for a lot of the other programs for me to do, like tier 2 and stuff like that. But I already have a plan to finish opening up my motor vehicle cases so I can get my license back. And I have work. When I get out, the company I was working for said I could come back and to the program.
All right. Mr. Gonzalez, thank you for your statement. We have questions for you. When we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and give you our decision. And we'll begin with Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Mr. Gonzalez.
Good morning.
You talked a little bit about your programming, and I want to go into that because one of the concerns that I obviously have is your prior history, right? You have an extensive prior history, and you've had 8 unsuccessful releases in the past. And of course, we want to be able to be sure that if you're released now, that you're going to be much more successful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you started some stuff, but you said you got some an appointment with therapists, which I think is a good thing. But you have done some programming. You did good intentions, bad choices.
Yes.
Can you just share a little bit about what skills you learned from that program that will help you transition back into the community or go back into the community in a more successful way?
Well, that program helped me realize not to think about the whole picture and think ahead instead of thinking for the moment. It taught me to think like the long-term effects of the outcome of doing stuff bad. I was thinking it told me to, instead of rushing into things, maybe take my time and think about stuff and maybe do stuff differently than how I was doing it before.
In your previous incarcerations, what kind of programming had you taken that before?
No. The only thing they had me do before was I think tier 2 and voices. That's about it.
So you've taken those in the past. That's prior programming you've taken.
Yeah. Years ago.
You mentioned that you scored a 2 on your drug and alcohol score, which is kind of low. You report you don't have a problem. Why would you need tier 2?
At the time that I signed up, I didn't know tier 2 was a drug program until they wrote me back and they explained to me that tier 2 was a drug program, but I didn't know at the time.
But do you have a substance abuse problem?
No.
What makes you say that? I thought in some of your offenses you had you were driving under the influence.
No, it was
suspended license.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah. So you don't think you have an issue with substance abuse?
No, I've drunk once when I was like 17, and I found out I was allergic to the alcohol grain. I ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks over it, so I just didn't drink no more, and I never did other drugs.
Probably a good allergy to have.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm still kind of struggling with what's going to be different about this particular release based on the fact that you had such a problem with your other releases and you were on probation when this offense was committed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working. The company I was working for was closing down corporate stores at the time. So they relocated me, first to New Haven and then to Rhode Island. So it was far from New Britain where I lived. And they had told me about a couple of months ago, they had told me that now West Hartford is a corporate location. So I don't need to drive anywhere because I can just take the city bus now and it's like 3 miles from my house. So
Yeah, but you are gonna work on trying to get your license back, right? Is that what you said earlier?
yeah, I have wrote to the court and I have about 12 cases to reopen. But my mom had got me an attorney and they said they can waive the $60 opening fee to open the case. So that'll save me at least about $600, and then I could just pay the other tickets slowly and hopefully get my license back. They say that's the only thing holding it back is prior tickets.
Yeah. You have a degree.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's a positive thing for you.
yeah, I have it. I graduated Central.
And you have skill sets in the culinary arts?
Yeah, and I have a culinary certificate, and I have a man lift certification and a scissor lift certification. And when I get out, I want to also get like forklifting. So maybe that'll open up my range. And I was looking on the tablets here, and there's a lot of forklifting jobs within walking distance, within a few miles from my house.
Yeah, those are some good skills to have. What you
Yes,
have,
sir.
I mean, in terms of being able to get employment back on the outside again. I mean, what you have blocking you is your prior history. That's
Yeah. Before I was limiting myself to only a specific job, so that what was causing me to having to drive so far. So now within the program, I've learned to like do other stuff so I don't have to go so far and work.
You learn how to drive a forklift?
No, that's the only thing I want to do when I get out to get that certification, so I can stay in my immediate area to work, and I don't have to really leave New Britain for work.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you're thinking in a good direction, Mr. Mr. Gonzalez. So right now, I don't really have a whole lot of other questions for you. So I'm going to pass it on to my colleague. But thank you for answering the questions that I did ask. And the best of luck to you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Mr. Gonzalez, have you ever had a valid driver's license?
Yeah,
When's the last time your license was valid?
99.
Wow. So since 90 for 20 year win, for 25 years you've been driving illegally, and it shows in your record.
I have when they suspended it in 99, I had got arrested and I had did a few years in prison. So I wasn't home the whole time.
Okay, I'm sorry. For 22 years you've been driving without a license. Why? I don't understand. Like that seems like such a silly thing to keep coming back to prison for. Just take care of your license, or maybe don't drive if you don't have a valid license. So simple. It doesn't make sense to me. If your job's too far, you find a different job, right? It's better than being in prison, no?
Yes.
Oof. I don't know. You've had so many opportunities, and for some reason, you don't seem to get it. But I hope this time you do. You're not a troublemaker. You don't have substance abuse issues. There's no reason why you shouldn't go out there and be successful. Like you said, now you can take the bus, right? Your new job at Red Robin in West Hartford is going to be on the bus line. You take the bus. I'm just curious. You told the officer who interviewed you, you thought your sentence was unfair. Why?
No, I thought the sentence was fair. Because that's what I was more or less expecting because I did get pulled over. It was I felt the officer who pulled me over was a little bit, not because I was driving, but he was treating me a little bit like unfair.
So he
Not-
shouldn't have arrested you for driving without a license?
No, not
Okay.
not to getting arrested, just the way he was treating me was like unfair,
Okay.
not because of driving under suspension. It was
Got
just
it.
his attitude and
Okay.
stuff like that I felt was a little
All
bit
right. Well, you know how to avoid that?
not driving.
Don't get pulled over. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm happy to hear that you have a plan and these are all achievable goals for you, right? You know, you can't do everything at once. It's going to take time. It's a process. But
In the time
Go
before I got arrested, I had took a trip because I had cases. I had an open case in Florida that was holding me back.
yeah,
So I had went out there to pay the Florida. It was like a $800 fine that I had to pay. So I
Right.
had knocked off the Florida and the main situation. You know, the one that was really far. I
Yeah.
had spent time out there to start opening those, and all I got left now is just New Brain Court
okay.
to deal with. I know one in Enfield, but they said I can do the Enfield one online just to pay the $80. I mean,
Right.
not the $80, but the restoration fee for Enfield. But the rest of them is I have to physically go to court, and
Yeah.
then hopefully New Britain waives the opening fee and just lets me pay the tickets.
Why do you have
That's
so
the
many tickets?
It was not. I guess not that they knew me, but I lived it close to like a high traffic area, and the certain officers knew that I didn't have that I was under suspension, so they used to pull me over.
Oh,
They
that's
knew
what the
my-
tickets are for?
Yeah, it was for like a seatbelt violation,
Okay.
a signal light violation. That's the the initial pullover was for that, and then it was like, oh, you under suspension, so then they'll give me a suspension ticket
Yeah.
and seatbelt ticket.
All right.
But most
All
of them
valid
were like
reasons for
violations like
tickets.
that.
Okay. All right. You're a smart guy. I mean, you just make bad choices. Even your underlying offense, stealing a washer and dryer from a former landlord. Come on.
That actually, I was trying to explain to the court that at the time that I was moving, I had a broken foot. So I had hired movers. I hired
Yeah.
people to do the moving.
Yeah.
And the landlord knew where I was moving from that apartment to the new one. He knew where I was moving to. So he made it to my apartment before the washer and dryer even got out the truck. So what I did was I just had the washer and dryer I had the driver send it right back because it was still on the truck. I didn't know
Why
that
why were the washer and dryer on the truck?
the movers thought that I owned it. So when they was packing everything up and moving and putting it on the truck, they had packed up the washer and dryer.
So how were you convicted of a larceny for that? If it was just a misunderstanding and an accident?
I don't know why the court did it like that, but I didn't even get arrested because when I went to when the officer came, he came with the landlord, and they had seen it in the truck, and they was like, just bring it. They had the driver just bring it back, and he gave me a summons for court, and he said this should just get resolved at court. But my lawyer
resolved. You got a conviction for a larceny 5. That's how it got resolved. And it's probably because of your history of larcenies and forgeries and all this stuff accumulates over time, right? You're only making things worse for yourself when you continue to violate the laws. So, all right. Thank you for speaking with us. Give us a few minutes to talk about your case, and we're going to get back to you very shortly with our decision. You can listen. Mr. Rodriguez. Oh, sorry. I forgot. I thought we started with you. Mr. Jargan.
No further.
Thank you. I apologize. Mr. Rodriguez.
Well, I mean, obviously, because I had concerns about Mr. Gonzalez's lengthy history.
Yeah.
and his unsuccessful releases. However, he did talk about a plan he had.
Yeah.
He did, he's got a college degree, he's got a BA degree,
Right.
which I think will be helpful for him on the outside if he utilizes it appropriately. He has taken good intentions, bad choices, and when he talked about what he learned from it, I think he really touched on those issues.
Yeah.
That he really needs to, take into consideration. He has no DRs since incarceration. And he had a good work history when he was out. He was doing some good work.
Yeah.
So I would be supportive of his release today. He also has a flat sentence.
Right. So he could use some supervision and
Supervision.
help with restoring his driver's license. Mr. Duggan?
So we're a case because he scores out low on substance abuse and mental health. And the first thing when you start reading it says, okay, got a problem with substance abuse, but it really wasn't there. I also had him granted.
All right. And no driving. Anything else?
It wasn't a co-defendant in one of the cases. I don't know if I'm.
No.
No. But I'm good with that. I'm good.
All right. In the matter of Angel Gonzalez, inmate number 236114, I'll make a motion to grant parole effective today, May 1st, 2024, with the additional condition of no operating a motor vehicle without your parole officer's permission, because you need a license first. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you understand? It's effective today, but it might take, some time for an officer to reach out to you and get you released. Okay?
All
Do
right.
not drive. You know what to do. We don't have to tell you.
Yeah, I'm just it's gonna take quite a bit of money, but I have a good support and a good plan for when I get up there.
Perfect. In the meantime, take the bus. We wish you the best, sir.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
All right, you said it was effective today?
Yes.
All right, thank
There's
you.
not going to open the doors and say bye-bye, Mr. Gonzalez. It's going to take a few days, but
Yeah,
just be patient.
I
okay.
understand. Thank you.
All right. Take care, sir.
All right, have a good day.
This concludes.
So this is certainly interesting, right? We have on one hand a judge that finally just said enough is enough after like 20 something years of driving and suspended license. Imagine the police in this situation. It's like they already know him. He's even saying it. Well, they know me, and they just pull him over, and he's still driving without a seatbelt still. And every time they pull him over, like, we know you don't have your license, and they write him a ticket, and then he shows up to court, and then the judge says, why aren't you driving without a license? Go get your license. And this went on, think about it, for decades. I mean, it must have been a running joke at the police station. Oh, look who it is again. It's Angel. Let's go write him a driving without a license ticket. And oh man, there's something kind of comical about it, but at the same time sad. I don't like it makes me wonder what is wrong with him now. It's not like these are his only charges. He had those forgery charges and some other things, but like the no drugs, which I believe he doesn't have a drug problem. I actually believe that he would have had all the charges. He doesn't, and still he ends up in a drug program, which is bothersome because we hear often enough that they say those programs are full. There's waiting lines for it. And it's like, why are you, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why, how did you end up in this program? And I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Is he like, I don't think he's a sovereign citizen, right? He might be, who knows, but he didn't give off that impression at his parole hearing. He gave no inkling of that he is one. And it's like, does it just start with the first ticket? He doesn't pay it, and then he just, gets in this route where he just doesn't want to pay it or doesn't have the money, and he just keeps going on with his life, and there are no real repercussions, and he keeps going and going and going and going, and finally a judge says prison time, and he finds himself in DOC sitting next to roaches and murderers. But so let's see. Here's thank you, Richard, for sharing. There's not a lot of information on him, but we can give you some type of idea of his record. I put it here in this Google Doc. Just get a little like paranoid. I'm like, am I sharing personal information right now on myself? Am I doxing myself? I don't think I am. I have like nightmares about doing that though. Okay, so it's like you have the 2015 arrested, illegal operating under suspension. Who would have thought? But he got 90 days jail, but it was suspended. Now remember, this history that we have access to only goes back a decade. So it doesn't mean it starts at 2015. It means we only see things at 2015. From what we heard, this goes back over 20 something years. He actually did it. They said jail time for driving. It seems someone threw the book at him in like 2019, but that didn't change anything, right? He did 2 years and then got out and then just kept going. But then he has failure to appear. So what he seems to do is that he gets the ticket and then he doesn't appear to court. He just ignores it, right? And then so he gets an executed suspended sentence. Then we have something which is June 2015, and I don't know, I guess it's a sentencing date. This is his larceny charge, which is interesting. And oh right, I forgot to talk about that with the washer dryer and the moving truck. And it's like, I just don't believe you, dude. Like, I don't believe you. Like, you don't just get a charge for stealing washer dryer if you didn't steal a washer dryer. So that was just hard to believe. Then he has failure to appear. Of course, who would have thought? Then he has violation of probation in 19 with his probation was revoked. So this is a 2023 probation revoked. He was arrested in November of 2015 for, who would have thought? Take a guess. Operating a vehicle under suspension. March 25th, 2016, he was sentenced for, or he pled guilty to, guess what? Operating a vehicle under suspension. Then 8/6/2017, he was sentenced or found guilty of, guess what? Or arrested, sorry, operating a vehicle under suspension. Then 12/25/2017, arrested operating a vehicle under suspension. I mean, let's take one more guess. March 1st, 2018, what was he arrested for? Operating a vehicle under suspension. 11/6/2019, what was he arrested for? Operating a vehicle under suspension. This time they sentenced him to 45 days in jail. Failure to appear at court in 1/18/2022. It's like there's something wrong, right? It's again, is it the antisocial thing? Is it just like there are just people in society, it's a small percentage who I think they classified as antisocial. Maybe there can be other classifications, but they just don't quite fit in. And I guess let me ask you. I mean, I don't know how to fix this, but it does seem like a pretty simple thing for him to solve. But and at least he understands what he needs to do to solve it. But do you think that he's gonna get his license back? And next question is, do you think in the interim is he going to drive? And I'll be willing to bet some big money that this man is going to get back into his vehicle and drive somewhere. And if he does, we might see him at a revocation hearing. So, yep. With that, let's move to the next hearing.